Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zoom O'Clock with your hosts, Tessy Antony de Nassau and Theodore today. I have a dear friend of mine, as usual with my podcast. It's all people that inspire me personally. Today, I am speaking to Corinne Cahen, Minister of Family, Minister of Integration, and Minister of the wider Luxembourgish region. Hi, Corinne.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Theodore.
So we're going to start, as we said before, in Luxembourgish, because we're both Luxembourger, and it's important to include our beautiful language. And then we will switch back to English for the podcast in itself, because our wider audience is more English speaking than Luxembourgish, sadly, for now. Who knows, in a few years, maybe there will be more Luxembourgish speakers as well in America and in Russia and in France. But until then, we need to do it in English. Is that okay with you?
Perfect.
Also, my liebe Corinne, kann ich dich Corinne nennen?
Natürlich, so geht es.
Super. Corinne, also, you are the president of the DP, the Demokratische Partei in Luxembourg. You, as I said, you're the Minister of Family, Integration, and Minister of the wider region in Luxembourg by the Luxembourg government. You are a politician, an MP in Parliament in Luxembourg. Before that, you were a journalist. You also were the owner of Chaussures Léon, as I could see here, and the president of the Union Commerciale de la Ville de Luxembourg. Wow, Corinne, also du hast wirklich viel Hannoter und du musst auch ganz viel. Komm, wir fangen mal an mit dem Ministère de Famille. Das Ministère de Famille, also ich gucke ja auf den Instagram, du warst immer noch weh. Und ich fand das so wichtig, was du da machst, weil du bist sicher, dass wir Mammen, Pappen, Bopen, Bomen und Caregivers, Schulen, Lehrer und alles, dass wir wirklich, wenn es könnt, mit dem Thema Familie, dass wir wirklich schon, was wir brauchen, für neue Kammer zu gucken. Erzähl uns ein bisschen davon.
Ja, das war eine von meinen Motivationen, für überhaupt an Politik zu gehen, dass ich fand, dass Work-Life-Balance gebraucht wird, reformiert zu gehen. Das heißt, du hast dein Baby um Schoß, du kannst schaffen an der Baby um Schoß und das kann leider nicht verreden. Das ist aber wichtig, dass sowohl die Mama wie auch die Pappen Zeit tun, für hier Kinder, ohne aber hier Arbeit abzugehen, ohne sich an irgendein Aufhängigkeit par rapport zu ihrem Partner zu beginnen. Und dafür, das war eine von meinen größten Motivationen, für was ich in Politik gegangen sind. Das war für die Mama und Papa mehr Zeit zu geben mit ihren Kindern, ohne dass sie den Schwang müssen abzuhalten mit Schaffen direkt. Und ich meine, da haben wir zum Beispiel die neue Congé parental angefordert, wo wir auch gesehen, dass ganz viel Leute, ganz viel Pappen, die Congé parental holen. Für die waren mit Mama, weil es war aber schlecht remuneriert und ganz rigid. Das war viel mehr rigid, das finde ich flexibel. Und da sehen wir, dass am Anfang schon mehr Pappen den Congé parental holen wie Mama, weil am Anfang ganz gut Zeichen ist, weil wir hätten ja gerne, dass die Mama und der Papa beim Baby sind, der Baby kennenlernen, Zeit mit dem Kind verbringen, und aber auch können weiter hier Karriere machen. Und das ist zum Beispiel etwas, wo mir immens um Herz liegt. Neben den Zukunftschancen natürlich von den Kindern. Ihr wisst, dass heute zu Lützeburg 50% von den Leuten nicht die Lützeburgische Nationalität tun. Da muss man gucken, dass man aber all die Kinder, die nämlich Zukunftschancen gehen, dass alle gute Kinder können gut an Schule gehen, etwas lehren, ihren Beruf können wählen und dann eben auch frei schaffen, Kinder kriegen, eine gute Lebensqualität tun und Zukunftschancen von den Kindern, selbst bei uns bei der Demokratischen Partei auch extrem um Herz liegt. Natürlich geht es darum, die Leute, die das Leben lang geschafft haben, die das Leben lang für uns da waren, die so gut wie möglich zu begleiten, dass sie aktiv alt können gehen, dass sie nicht krank gehen, dass sie auch ein gut Leben können haben. Dann noch Leute, die leider vielleicht eine Behinderung haben, ein Inklusivfeld gestaltet, für das sie für ihn so leben kann, wie will, so wie ein für richtig findet, damit wem will. Und dann natürlich aber auch uns die kümmern, denen nicht so gut geht. Ich denke da zum Beispiel an Leute, die Kinder daheim haben und so, dass man genug Strukturen haben, und für allem auch genug Sozialarbeit drin, die Leute helfen, nicht nur day to day, das muss auch sein, mir vielleicht auch nicht aus der Misere herauszukommen, auf ihr Face zu fallen und ihr Leben nicht selber zu gestalten.
Das ist wirklich super. Also I will continue in English then, just to make sure. So you would say as well that so the part of the Ministry of Integration is very, very much intertwined then with the Minister of Family, as far as I could hear.
It is, but actually, as I just said, in Luxembourg, we have almost 50% of the population who doesn't have the Luxembourgish nationality. And so integration is a big concern here in Luxembourg, because we don't want people to live side by side. We want people to live together. And so we have so many people coming to Luxembourg every year to work here in different companies, and their children go to school. And so it's so important for us that they get to know us, that they get to know our traditions, but also that we get to know them, that we grow together, and that we can build this country together for the future. That's so important for us. So integration is a very, very big concern of this government, because it's a social cohesion, and it's very important that that people who arrive in Luxembourg feel at home, and that they are integrated, and that we get to know each other and grow together, actually.
Very, very nice. That is something I really loved about Luxembourg, because we are so diverse, and it's this multi-culti, as everyone says, and it's really important to include everyone as much as possible. Going over then to, you mentioned it already briefly, that it is important to your political party, the DP, the Demokratische Partei. Can you tell us, for our listeners, on young people specifically who will be voting in the next year and a half selection, what is the DP about? What are the main aims of the DP, and where do you focus on for the next election specifically?
Yeah, it's very large, actually. Of course, we focus on freedom. Everybody has to live as he wants. Everybody must be free to live the life that he wants to live, with whoever he wants to live and where he wants to live. So that's, I think, the biggest concern. But of course, work-life balance is something that is very important to us. We want young mothers like you, for example, to continue working, but to have enough time for their kids, and same for the dads. We come out of a period where very often the mother stayed at home and the dad continued to work, and we want both to have more time for their children and more time also to work. So work-life balance is something very important. That's why we introduced the new parental leave, where more fathers take it now than mothers, which is really, really great, because we don't want anybody to be dependent on anybody. And then when I'm talking about kids and I see your very, very cute baby, for us, it's very, very important that all the children have the same chances in their life, never mind if they are Luxembourgish or not Luxembourgish, if their parents are rich or not as rich. It's important for us that the children have the same chances, and we work on that at school, and we work on that around school, that every child can make the hobbies that he wants or she, that every child can succeed in school and choose his job later on. So the chances, the future chances, opportunities for kids is something that is really, really important for our party. And then also the young people, I mean, we come now out of a period that was and that still is quite heavy for kids, for young people. I have 5 teenagers at home, so for them, they couldn't go out, they couldn't go to school for a moment. It was quite a difficult period. It still is, and for us, it's important to consider what they feel, what they want, what they need, especially, and to not to decide for other people, but to decide together with the people what they need and what we as politicians can do for them, so that they can have a good or a better life.
Wow, 5 teenagers. I did not know that. I knew that you have children, but I wasn't aware that it is 5 of them. That is impressive.
Two are mine.
2, and so a beautiful patchwork family.
Absolutely.
As we do. We are also 4 children here now with Theodore, and I think that's, wow, that's amazing. So tell me, Corinne, how is it for you as a woman in Parliament when you started as well? Because that has been a while ago. How was that transition for the male politicians as well, to see more female politicians now in the Chambre des Députés as well? Have you always been welcomed with open arms?
Let's say like this. First of all, I was an MP only for 3 weeks, so I cannot really talk about me being a member of Parliament, because I have been there only for 3 weeks. I don't want to say that something is better or worse because I'm a woman. As well, I don't want to say that something is better or worse because I have a Jewish background, for example. When I was young and I went for a job and I was not taken, I never said it's because I'm a woman or because I'm Jewish. I thought, okay, it's because I was not good enough, or I don't fit into the team, or whatever. So I'm not very keen on always saying it's because I'm a woman that I'm weak or strong. I'm me. And I don't really like quotas. So of course you can sometimes play with it when you're just the only woman. I remember that I was an elected member of the Chamber of Commerce here in Luxembourg, and there were mainly men, or almost only men. And I was not only a woman, but I was quite young at that time. And so it was a bit weird probably for some of them who were used of being only between men. Of a certain age, maybe even, but I think this has already changed. I don't feel, I think that we all should be role models, but not because we are women, but because of what we do and because of what we, yeah. I see this with my kids also. Very often I see it with other women. Very often women have less self-confidence, actually. I think we are a little bit more, if you ask a woman to do something, she will say, I'm not sure whether I'm the right person to do this, maybe I cannot do this, etc. We should be more self-confident, I think, as women. That's, yeah.
That is a very, very nice way how you put it, because I agree that we should not reinforce these stereotypes that we say, oh, because I'm a woman. And I totally agree that we all have our own self-worth and our own capabilities, and that we should hire on capabilities if possible. I do understand as well the other side, where we say, well, if we do hire on capabilities, in some traditional societies, specifically in Switzerland, for example, they will hire more men eventually, just because that is as it always has been. Here in Switzerland, women are still not paid the same as men for the same work. And it's very, very well known. And it's a big problem, I think. So,
but I think it's, sorry, Tessy, but I think it's the same everywhere. But still, if we make the law, when I used to be an employer. And when you have the choice between a man or a woman of, let's say, they are both 30 years old, then at the time, people would tend to take the man, because they would say, oh, because the woman, she doesn't have kids yet, she will get kids, and then she will be away from work, etc. When you allow men, or when you tell men to stay at home with their kids for a certain period of time, then you have an equality between men and women. Okay, it's still the woman who is pregnant and who will give birth, but still we want men to take more responsibilities at home. And if they take more responsibilities at home, then for an employer, it's going to be, there will be no difference anymore between hiring a man or a woman, because both of them could maybe take some time off to take care of the children. So I think this is how it should work. We should make the equality also at home. And if we have an equality at home, then the equality will also be in the job, because there will no longer be men who don't stop working and to make career, who are in their career, and women who stop working and to take care about the kids when they are young, etc. I think the laws must be that everybody, men and women, take more responsibility everywhere, at home and at work.
I really like what you were saying, and I agree with you, because I have been talking the same way like you just did since a very long time. And it's actually the first time I hear a politician, specifically also a minister, speaking exactly like that, where we say we need to change it from the fundamental base from at home. And whatever happens at home, that you can translate that as well, that framework to your work life as well. And I think that is the only way forward. And as we Luxembourg often lead by example, if I may say, because it is the truth. When I look at other countries and their politics, Luxembourg is really not doing bad at all. I know that when you're in Luxembourg, sometimes people say, oh, our ministers, they could do better. But actually, if you do compare it to France, for example, and Italy and other ministries where they have also Ministry of Family and so on, I think Luxembourg is really standing out. So let me ask you then one last question before we go to my favorite question about your books or podcasts or so on. What's next, Corinne? What is next for you in the ministry? What is next for the MP political party, your role there, and also in your private life? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, in the ministry now, something that is really important for me is that we are going, hopefully, to have the new law about accessibility voted from the parliament in the next weeks. Accessibility is very important, because when you talk about accessibility, we always talk about wheelchairs. Okay, they are part of it, but it's also for blind people, deaf people, people who have another handicap, that we want a world that is more accessible to everybody, everywhere. So you, in Luxembourg, you will be, when you build a new building that is publicly open, it has to be accessible in different ways. When you are a building that has already been built, it has to be transformed until 2032 to make it accessible. For example, a doctor must be accessible for everybody, or a commune, an administration. So that's now the most important for the next weeks for me in the ministry. Then we are working on a new law about integration, because as I told you at the beginning, it's a very important topic here in Luxembourg. Then, of course, we take care of our elderly. We have still a COVID virus, and we have to take care one of each other. So that's still a big challenge. We opened yesterday the Wanderaction, as we call it. We don't want homeless people to sleep in the street when it's cold outside. So
I really like that initiative as well.
A place where they can sleep without being outside. They get something to eat in the evening, in the morning, in the afternoon, etc. So that's what I'm working at right now. In the party, of course, we have a very good team. We have our Prime Minister, Xavier Bettel. I just saw him because making this podcast, I have my friends at government, Claude Maisch, Marc Hansen, Lex Telles, Pierre Gramegna. We are a very good team, and we work very closely together also with the members of parliament. It's very important that a party work is a teamwork. It cannot go without being a team player. So what we need, and I talk a lot with young people. Yesterday I met somebody from the young people. He's a student at university in Luxembourg. For me, it's very important to listen to what they have to say, to how they want the country to be tomorrow. And so we try to make a program for the next elections to present the country of tomorrow without forgetting people who are maybe afraid also of too much change. We don't need much change. We just need to be more modern also when it comes to climate change, etc. We have a lot of challenges, and we should make these challenges together. We have 2 elections in 2023, so we have a lot of work ahead, but it's still 1 more year to go, and there are many projects in this year before the year of the election. So yeah, we have a lot of work. We have a lot to do.
Wow, that is really exciting. And I'm sure the young people listening to this, also through your Instagram, you're very busy on Instagram as well. Everyone can follow you there, see your incredible work. So please do go and follow Corinne Cahen, Cahen, on her Instagram. I do, and I really love it. So my last question to you, what is a book, podcast, or quote that has inspired you that you would like to share?
Actually, every once in a while, I have a book, a podcast, or a quote that inspires me. And when somebody asks me, I would not know which one to say. I would very spontaneously now tell you a quote that I have read once. I don't even know if the quote has really been said or not. I think it has been Marilyn Monroe who should have said it. I don't know. I didn't verify if she really did, but it says la femme qui veut être l'égale à l'homme n'a pas d'ambition. So the woman who wants to be the same than a man has no ambition. I like that quote, and my role models are certainly Simone Weil, strong women like Colette Flash, also here in Luxembourg. I like Michelle Obama. Role models, people who are positive. That's why I really love Tessy Nassau, because she's always positive. I love people who are positive, who have energy, and who can give some of their energy to other people. So that is for me the most important now. There are many books that I love, that I loved. There are many podcasts that I really like, but yeah, it's difficult to choose one now. So I leave it to the quote.
Wow, I love that quote. I'm definitely going to take it and use it as well. I really think it's beautiful and it's so relevant. Why be like someone else? Like, as they say, why be as everyone else if you can be a unicorn, right? So really fantastic. Thank you for that. That is a really nice way of finishing this podcast. So thank you for your time. I think Theodore, he also wants to eat now. So perfect timing, Theodore. Thank you so much, Corinne. Now I go back to my most important work, which is being a mama to this beautiful little man. And we speak offline more. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Et bon appétit, Theodore.